Year 11, this is Miss Wadeson, and we have put together a series of 10 top tips as well as some advice for how to get the best out of your revision time leading up to your summer exams. There's a short video here that you can watch which just shows one of our former students talking about his experience of revising. As you watch it, just think about why we are dedicating some of our school time to this and also what you learn. Do you recognise anything that you're currently doing yourself? So before we go into our 10 top tips, the way that I would recommend using this is to take on board all the advice that we give and then work through each of the top 10 tips. Some of them will work for you, some of them will not. It's about choosing the things that are right for your revising. There is no pressure for you to use every single one, but I would certainly recommend that you try them at least once. So when do you start revising? If you haven't done that yet, you need to start. Cramming doesn't work and makes you really stressed. So regularly spacing out your revision helps, and all the research says that this works best. So don't leave everything until the last minute, and certainly don't revise the night before an exam. Start as soon as you can. You need to be organised. In order for you to spread out your revision, you need a plan. Make sure you stick to it. Speak to your teachers. Speak to any adult in school to help you with this, or an adult at home. Make sure you're organised in terms of what you know and what you don't know. If you've missed anything, we know the last 2 years have been extremely disrupted. If you've missed particular sections, speak to your teacher and get some additional notes and resources. We are here to help you. Your revision environment is really important. If you're putting in all the hard effort, making sure you have a quiet space to work with no distractions will help you get the most out of your time. Research has even shown that putting your mobile phone in a different room whilst you work helps you concentrate more. Having breaks is important. Working through hour after hour is not going to do you any good at all. Research has shown that having short breaks regularly will help you retain more information and therefore do better when it comes to exams. So make sure you're having in each hour 5 to 10 minutes regularly, and practice this and find out what works for you. Don't have any longer than 5 to 10 minutes. See how that goes for you. Things that you can do during your short breaks, it's about trying to do something different with your brain. So don't go and read another book, for example. So some examples here: having a phone call or texting your friend, having a little healthy snack, having a drink of water, perhaps doing some light exercise or some stretching, listen to your favourite tune, dance around the living room, whatever it might be, go for a walk outside, get some fresh air. All of these things will help you with your revision. Now we know exams are stressful, so don't ignore the exams. Don't put things off and don't make excuses. You can do a lot of things to help your exam experience be more positive. All the tips and advice we're giving you here are to help you. One way to really help you stay calm is to visualise yourself walking into the exam hall, sitting at the exam desk and having a really good exam. Really go through this several times in your head and repeat it. This has been shown to help reduce exam stress and help you do better in the exam. You've all been in the sports hall, so you know what it's like. So just repeat this over and over and think of it as a positive time. Exercise. We mentioned having short breaks. This is a bit more than that. So the government recommends that you should have 60 minutes of exercise a day. Now we know this isn't always possible, so if you're aiming for 30 to 60 minutes, that's going to really help you get the most out of your revision and feel good. And if you feel good, you will do better. So lots of ideas there. Do things that you enjoy, and if you need a little home workout that doesn't cost anything and that doesn't require any equipment, there are some ideas on the right hand side. Okay? Exercise is proven to help you perform better in your exams. And now this is the big one. Sleep is vital. Many of us do not have enough sleep, and doctors recommend that teenagers in year 10 and 11 should be having 8 to 10 hours a night. Okay? Some of you might be shocked at that. Make sure you're in a sleep routine. That means not staying up really late at the weekends, but trying to have 8 to 10 hours at the same time every night. Even if you do this all the way up to your exams and then maybe slack off, that's fine. But doing it at least a month before your exams until all the way up to your exams will help you do better in the exams. Okay? It is proven to help your academic performance. No exercise, no screens, and no eating or studying for an hour before you sleep will help you get better quality sleep. Okay? On the right hand side you can see what happens if you don't have enough sleep, and you might notice some of these things in yourself. Okay? It's really, really important. I can't stress that enough. And finally, in terms of advice, practice the thing you're going to be tested on. Exams are in exam conditions, in silence, with a strict time limit. The only way you're going to get better at performing in those conditions is by practice. My example here, if you were playing a game on your PS4 or your Xbox, you wouldn't read the instruction manual in order to get better. You would play the game over and over again to improve. It's the same with exams. Practice, practice, practice. Now, this stage, we have 10 top tips of ways to revise. Simply highlighting documents or reading books is not going to work, and the research says that it doesn't. So these are our top 10 tips to help you. Try them all at least once and see what works for you. You can pause this video to work through each slide as you go through. So here we have about the Precis technique, which is essentially summarising. So once you've read through a page in your revision guide, you then structure some notes using that information in a short and easy to follow way. So you can pause the video on each slide to read the instructions and go at using the technique. There are examples for you to try and use, and then you can go away and use it yourself. So here is a good example of the Precis technique. Our second technique is Mindmaps. So you can have a look and see one here. Here's a better idea. You can go away and have a look and try this for yourself. Here's an example. Try and build a mind map here. Mnemonics is our third technique. Have a go at using them. We've got some examples here and one for you to try. There's a video for this one. This is a memory technique called Loci, and is a really, really good way of remembering lots of information. Here's an example, and this is really about using your memory effectively. So you can have a go at remembering a journey. There's an example here, and then you can have a go at using it yourself. Cornell notes. This is just a way of structuring your notes in a useful way. There's an example here for Jekyll and Hyde, which you'll be studying for your English literature exam. Have a go at using it yourself. Chunking is our sixth top tip. Breaking down lots of information into small amounts. So you can see an example here using bullet points. Okay, it's a lot easier to look back at and to create flashcards. Flashcards is our number 7 tip. This is about creating them. That actually helps with your revising, and then using them to test yourself or your friends. So you can see on one side of our flashcard we might have a question. On the other side of our flashcard we've got 4 answers. So we've broken down the information we need to know, and we can then use them to test ourselves. So you might use the chunking technique or Precis technique to create your flashcards. So you can see how things link together. We've then got our concept maps, a bit like a mind map but a lot more connected. So you could see how easily creating a mind map could link to then creating a concept map. It's a bit more complicated, and you have all these connections between your ideas. Our number 9 tip, mnemonics. Now this doesn't work for everything, but it might help for particular things. Lots of your English students there will remember a forest. So you've probably remember that from year 7. So it's a very useful way to remember particular things that you need to do. So have a go at using it. And our final technique is association. Now this is one that I have remembered since I was at primary school, and it really does help cement things in your mind. So I keep forgetting the Spanish word for cow. It's vaca. I think vaca sounds a bit like vacuum, and therefore this is the image that helps me remember that a cow is vaca in Spanish. Okay, they can be as silly as possible, they can be personal to you, and they might really help you remember some complicated ideas.